In the wild, confrontation is often unavoidable. Among humans, avoidance is an art form. Here, we observe a familiar scenario. Two humans approach each other from opposite directions. They have met before. Both are aware. Notice how eye contact lasts exactly 0.4 seconds, long enough to confirm recognition, but short enough to deny it. The human immediately deploys defensive tactics, sudden phone usage, intense interest in the floor, and an unnatural adjustment of walking speed. This behavior is not accidental, it is survival. In the bustling concrete ecosystem of the modern urban environment, a complex social phenomenon occurs with remarkable frequency. Here, among the fluorescent-lit corridors of shopping centers and the narrow pathways of neighborhood grocery stores, we observe one of humanity's most intricate behavioral adaptations. This is the art of strategic social invisibility. Deep within these artificial habitats, two specimens of Homo sapiens engage in an elaborate dance of mutual denial. Their survival depends not on physical prowess or territorial dominance, but on their ability to render themselves psychologically transparent to a familiar member of their own species. Today, we witness Sarah, a 32-year-old marketing coordinator, as she navigates the treacherous terrain of aisle 7. Her biometric readings spike dangerously as her peripheral vision detects a catastrophic threat to her emotional equilibrium. It is Marcus, her former colleague from the accounting department. The initial detection phase begins with a subtle narrowing of the pupils, followed by an immediate reduction in forward momentum. Sarah's walking speed decreases by approximately 47% as her nervous system processes the implications of this unexpected encounter. She has entered what behavioral scientists call the recognition crisis zone. Marcus, meanwhile, exhibits identical physiological responses. His head tilts downward at precisely 15 degrees, creating the illusion of intense focus on a package of breakfast cereal. This is textbook avoidance posturing, a defensive mechanism evolved over countless awkward encounters in modern civilization. The cereal box becomes his shield, his sanctuary, his temporary salvation from social obligation. But nature has equipped both subjects with sophisticated countermeasures. Sarah deploys the smartphone diversion technique, retrieving her device with practiced precision. Her fingers move across the screen in seemingly purposeful gestures, though closer observation reveals she is merely scrolling through the same 3 text messages repeatedly. This digital camouflage serves a dual purpose, providing both visual obstruction and plausible justification for her apparent obliviousness to her surroundings. Marcus, sensing the escalation, initiates the cart realignment maneuver. He adjusts his shopping cart's trajectory by 8 degrees, creating additional physical barriers between himself and the approaching threat. His movements appear casual, almost careless, yet every gesture is calculated with the precision of a military operation. The distance between them continues to narrow. 30 feet, 25 feet, 20 feet. At this critical juncture, both subjects demonstrate the phenomenon known as selective blindness syndrome. Despite possessing fully functional visual cortex capabilities, they experience a temporary inability to process familiar facial features within their immediate environment. Sarah executes a flawless product examination ritual, lifting a jar of pasta sauce to eye level and studying its nutritional label with the intensity of a laboratory researcher. Her concentration appears so complete that one might assume she is conducting groundbreaking sodium content analysis. Meanwhile, Marcus deploys the advanced technique of conversational misdirection, retrieving his phone and engaging in what appears to be an urgent discussion about weekend plans. However, audio analysis reveals he is speaking to his voicemail system, delivering a monologue about grocery shopping efficiency to an automated recording service. The gap between them continues to close with the inexorable momentum of continental drift. 15 feet, 12 feet, 10 feet. At 9 feet, Sarah initiates emergency evasive action. She pivots sharply toward the organic produce section, her movement pattern suggesting sudden interest in free-range vegetables. This lateral displacement creates a temporary reprieve, allowing both subjects to maintain the carefully constructed illusion of mutual non-existence. But the grocery store ecosystem is unforgiving. The layout forces a convergence at the checkout stations, where escape routes become severely limited. Multiple subjects crowd into narrow corridors, creating what researchers term the inevitable encounter bottleneck. Sarah finds herself trapped in lane 4, while Marcus materializes in lane 3. The distance between them has reduced to a mere 8 feet, well within the danger zone for accidental eye contact. Both subjects now display advanced symptoms of recognition anxiety disorder. Sarah's breathing patterns shift to shallow, rapid intervals as she focuses intensely on her smartphone screen. Her thumb moves in repetitive swiping motions, though she appears to be viewing the same photograph of her lunch from 3 days ago. Marcus exhibits complementary behavior, engaging the cashier in an extended discussion about the weather patterns of the past 72 hours. His voice maintains carefully modulated volume levels, loud enough to appear naturally conversational, yet strategically positioned to mask any potential acoustic recognition triggers. The tension reaches critical levels as both checkout lines advance at identical rates. Sarah and Marcus move in synchronized progression toward the exit, their parallel trajectories creating an inevitable collision course at the store's entrance. This is where the phenomenon reaches its most fascinating complexity. Both subjects now employ what scientists call the synchronized ignorance protocol. Their movements become eerily coordinated, as if controlled by some invisible choreographer specializing in social discomfort. They approach the automatic doors simultaneously, their pace matching with mathematical precision. Neither can slow down without acknowledging the other's presence, yet neither can accelerate without appearing to flee from an unrecognized threat. The doors sense their approach and slide open with mechanical indifference to the psychological drama unfolding. For a brief moment, both subjects exist in the same temporal and spatial coordinates, sharing the same pocket of conditioned air, breathing the same artificially circulated atmosphere. Yet they remain completely invisible to one another, two ghosts haunting the same commercial purgatory. Marcus veers left toward the parking structure, while Sarah angles right toward the street-side walkway. The crisis passes without incident, both subjects successfully navigating the treacherous social obstacle course without compromising their carefully maintained anonymity. But this encounter represents merely the opening movement in a longer symphony of avoidance. The urban environment will continue to generate these collision points, these moments where the elaborate architecture of social denial faces its ultimate test. In the distance, storm clouds gather on the horizon, promising future encounters of even greater complexity and psychological peril real. The following morning brings new challenges to our subject's fragile ecosystem. Sarah's natural habitat extends beyond the commercial hunting grounds into the more treacherous territory of the residential coffee establishment. Here, the confined spaces and extended interaction periods create what behavioral ecologists term the prolonged exposure phenomenon. At precisely 8:43 a.m., Sarah enters Café Luna, her usual morning feeding ground. The establishment measures only 22 feet in width, creating what researchers classify as a critical compression zone, where escape routes become severely limited. The ambient noise levels register at 68 decibels, insufficient to provide adequate acoustic camouflage for emergency evasion protocols. She approaches the ordering station with characteristic morning lethargy, when her threat detection systems activate with alarming intensity. There, positioned at a corner table precisely 12 feet from the counter, sits Jennifer, her former college roommate and current embodiment of unresolved social obligations. The recognition triggers an immediate cascade of physiological responses. Sarah's cortisol levels spike by an estimated 300%, while her facial muscles contract into what appears to be concentrated menu examination. This micro-expression, lasting approximately 2.4 seconds, represents the initial phase of what scientists call defensive concentration syndrome. Jennifer, meanwhile, demonstrates remarkable parallel behavioral adaptation. Her peripheral vision system detects Sarah's presence with the precision of military-grade surveillance equipment, yet her conscious awareness centers remain completely offline. She maintains unwavering focus on her laptop screen, her fingers producing rhythmic keyboard percussion, despite the fact that she is currently viewing a blank document. This digital productivity theater serves multiple evolutionary functions. creating both visual barriers and social justification for her apparent environmental obliviousness. Sarah advances toward the ordering counter with movements that suggest casual morning routine, yet reveal careful trajectory planning designed to minimize visual contact opportunities. Her path curves 17 degrees to the left, utilizing a strategic pillar for temporary concealment while maintaining plausible navigation toward her caffeine acquisition objective. The barista, unaware of the complex social dynamics unfolding within his territory, initiates standard customer interaction protocols. His cheerful greeting penetrates Sarah's concentration, forcing her to engage in verbal communication while simultaneously maintaining her elaborate ignorance performance. Her voice modulation becomes artificially elevated, projecting casual confidence while her nervous system operates in full crisis mode. She orders her usual medium cappuccino with oat milk, though her stress responses cause her to initially request almond milk before implementing immediate self-correction protocols. This verbal stumbling represents what researchers term cognitive load overflow, where the mental energy required for social invisibility begins to compromise basic communication functions. Behind her, the cafe entrance chimes signal the arrival of additional subjects. A middle-aged businessman enters, followed by 2 university students engaged in animated discussion about weekend social activities. The population density increases, creating what behavioral scientists call the audience amplification effect. The presence of witnesses dramatically escalates the stakes of the avoidance protocol. Both Sarah and Jennifer now must maintain their elaborate performance while managing the additional complexity of potential social exposure in front of strangers who might notice their unusual behavior patterns. Jennifer deploys advanced camouflage techniques, retrieving oversized sunglasses despite the indoor environment's moderate lighting conditions. These optical barriers provide crucial psychological protection while maintaining her carefully constructed image of casual morning cafe behavior. Her typing intensity increases, though analysis of her screen reveals she is composing an email to herself, containing only the repeated phrase, "morning coffee thoughts," in various font sizes and colors. This meaningless digital activity serves as a sophisticated attention displacement mechanism. Sarah collects her beverage and faces the moment of maximum vulnerability. The logical exit route requires passage within 6 feet of Jennifer's position, well within the danger zone for accidental acknowledgement. Her options become severely limited as the cafe's narrow layout forces her into what researchers call the inevitable proximity corridor. She initiates the mobile device emergency protocol, extracting her smartphone with practiced efficiency and engaging in apparent text message composition. Her thumb movements suggest urgent communication, though closer observation reveals she is merely adjusting her phone's brightness settings in repetitive cycles. The distance closes with mathematical inevitability: 8 feet, 6 feet, 4 feet. At the critical 3-foot threshold, both subjects demonstrate the phenomenon known as synchronized breathing suspension. Their respiratory patterns become shallow and carefully controlled, as if the natural sounds of human breathing might trigger catastrophic recognition events. Jennifer's laptop screen becomes the focus of supernatural concentration. Her eyes fixate on a PowerPoint presentation about quarterly sales projections from 2 years ago, studying outdated pie charts with the intensity of archaeological discovery. Her facial expression suggests she has uncovered revolutionary insights about profit margin optimization. Sarah passes through the danger zone with movements that appear casual, yet demonstrate the careful precision of a trained operative navigating laser security systems. Her coffee cup serves as a prop, providing both hand occupation and facial partial concealment as she executes the complex maneuver. The moment passes without incident, yet the psychological toll becomes evident in both subjects' subsequent behavior patterns. Sarah exits the establishment with movements that suggest casual departure, while her nervous system processes the successful completion of a high-stakes mission. Jennifer remains at her table for an additional 47 minutes, though her original intended visit duration was 15 minutes for a quick morning caffeine acquisition. This extended territorial occupation represents what researchers term post-encounter decompression syndrome, where subjects require additional recovery time to process the emotional intensity of successful avoidance protocols. The urban ecosystem continues its relentless cycle, generating countless opportunities for these elaborate social ballets. Each successful evasion strengthens the subject's confidence in their invisibility techniques, yet simultaneously increases the psychological pressure surrounding future encounters. In the weeks that follow, both subjects develop sophisticated route optimization strategies. Sarah adjusts her morning coffee schedule to 8:57 a.m., while Jennifer shifts her cafe visits to 8:26 a.m. These temporal displacement techniques create buffer zones of approximately 31 minutes, providing adequate safety margins for their continued coexistence within the same commercial territory. Yet the urban environment remains unpredictable, and the possibility of future encounters lurks beneath every seemingly routine social interaction, waiting to test the limits of human social invisibility technology. Through extensive field research across multiple urban ecosystems, we have documented the remarkable sophistication of human social invisibility mechanisms. These behavioral adaptations, evolved over millennia of complex social interaction, demonstrate the species' extraordinary capacity for psychological self-preservation within densely populated artificial environments. The subjects we observe today represent millions of similar specimens navigating identical challenges throughout metropolitan territories worldwide. Each successful avoidance encounter reinforces these survival techniques, creating an intricate web of mutual denial that preserves the delicate social equilibrium of modern civilization. Yet perhaps most fascinating is what remains unspoken in these elaborate performances. Beneath the carefully choreographed movements and sophisticated camouflage techniques lies a profound recognition that both participants are engaged in the identical struggle. They understand each other's motivations with perfect clarity, sharing an unacknowledged bond forged through mutual social terror. In the end, these rituals reveal a deeper truth about the human condition. In their desperate attempts to avoid authentic connection, our subjects paradoxically create moments of perfect understanding. They become unwitting partners in an intricate dance of denial, forever bound by the very recognition they seek to escape. The urban ecosystem continues its relentless rhythm, generating new opportunities for these encounters with each passing day. And somewhere in the distance, another subject approaches a familiar territory, their threat detection systems already beginning to activate, preparing for the next elaborate performance in humanity's endless theater of social invisibility.